Well, 2020 was quite a year. What in the world does 2021 have in store for us? Stick around as we share our predictions in this episode of The Jam. What is up? I'm Gordon from Marmalead.
I am Richie from Marmalead.
I'm Jade from Marmalead.
And I'm Lisa from Marmalead.
And today we're going to be talking about some fearless predictions for 2021 for Etsy. Some things that we think we're going to see coming up in 2021. We like to do this every year. We did one in 2020. I don't remember if they all came true or not. But we're going to dig into some fun ones for 2021. You want to kick us off, Richie?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one I think is going to be pretty obvious to a lot of Etsy sellers that are familiar with Etsy's move into personalized search. All signs point to they're going to keep leaning into personalized search, which makes a lot of sense. With the growth of Etsy, I mean, they started doing personalized search to begin with just because there's so many listings, so many shops, and you want to show shoppers what they actually are likely to buy. And search alone is not just going to do it. So based on buyer history, preferences, other things they shop for, their machine learning is going to be going towards personalized search and just keeps going more and more that way.
Yeah, I think that's something we're already sort of starting to see come to fruition. I've heard people talking about it, people who are really digging in and doing the research. They're seeing, that's already starting to happen. So I think that can be a relatively fearless prediction for 2021 because we're already sort of starting to see that turn that direction.
Yeah, one of the things Etsy mentioned in their Q3 report was their efforts in the last quarter to send out emails to customers to try to pull them back. I could totally see Etsy branching out personalized search into other areas and trying to send more personalized suggestions in their email campaigns. They've also been publishing gift guides. And so to kind of change those things and make each gift guide that goes out a more personalized version of that, it's just going to help boost conversions for them and get more sales in the end.
Yeah.
All right, so next prediction. I think Etsy is going to lean into video a lot more than they already have now. Again, this was something they brought up in their Q3 report. They talked about how by the end of September, they had 1.5 million videos on the platform already. That's awesome. I mean, they've been in all the sellers' inboxes asking for people to put videos on their listings. It's been a big effort for them. But to get 1.5 million on the platform already, that's fantastic, right? So I think they're really going to lean into that more. I don't think that the video thing was necessarily just like, oh, Amazon has videos, we should add videos too. I think Etsy's going to really want to kind of drive the market in that area. Maybe do some additional things with videos. Like on the search results page, if you mouse over a search result and that listing has a video, it could replace the thumbnail with the video and autoplay that video, just to get a little more interactivity in their application and stuff like that. I think it's something that they're going to lean into a whole lot more than they already have. And they're going to continue to encourage sellers to put together videos for their listings.
Which makes a lot of sense. I mean, Zappos has been the shoe company or shoe sales company that Amazon owns, has been doing that for years. And it's nothing exactly special. I mean, it's a shoe and somebody walking across the screen in a shoe. But it adds a lot of context, a lot more context than just, here's a picture of a shoe.
Yeah, it's such a game changer. I know that when I buy stuff online, if there's a video, it's so much more helpful to really visualize what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, have you ever bought like a shirt or something like that and
Yep.
it looks great in the picture, but then you try to move in it and it's stiff, it rides up,
Right.
all that stuff. A video would definitely help because you could look and see wow, that person's, okay, they're comfortable.
Right.
Yep.
And we've talked about that in the past on other jams about how you really need to tell a story with your product. And that's such a great way to be able to kind of complete that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Another prediction I think we're going to see in 2021 is I think that the growth of Etsy that we're seeing in 2020 is here to stay. So Etsy's been growing fast, but in 2020, because everything changed so much with COVID and people started to, both need extra employment, but also starting to work from home and not being at an office has given people a lot more opportunity to side hustle. And a lot of people haven't sent their kids back to school or haven't been able to. So they're at home, and when you're in the office is one thing. Sure, you can try a side hustle a little bit at the office. It's going to be a lot harder too. When you're at home, you can side hustle. right? And people are realizing that. But also with everyone doing so much more online shopping, I mean, they're not showing up to the physical boutiques as much as they used to, right? So where do you go? Well, you're not going to Target or Walmart. You're going to Etsy because that is, that's really what the competition for Etsy was at that point. Physical boutique where you're going to find that handmade stuff, or shop online. Well, there's been a huge shift over to online, and I don't think that's going to change. And the more shoppers online, the more people that are going to start seeing, wait a minute, I make stuff too. And I can make a side hustle Etsy shop also. And then you've got this flywheel of more shoppers, more people say, I can do this. And it just keeps going and going and going.
Yep.
So I think that's going to keep pretty fueled up for 2021.
I would agree with that too. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere recently that Cyber Tuesday and even Black Friday they broke records for e-commerce sales. So,
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're already headed in that direction. I think with, everything the way that it is, and, like you were saying, people not sending kids back to school. Some places are doing, are still doing e-learning, and you don't even have that choice. It definitely is pushing people back towards like home-based business, working from home. And 100% agree. It's easier to have a side hustle when you're already in place at home, and you can sort of switch over and spend a few minutes here and then get back to, your regular job. But yeah, I totally see it head in that direction as well.
Yeah, 100%. And so what does this mean for you as a seller? It means more competition, unfortunately. It means more shoppers on the platform, which is good, but it also means more competition. So you need to keep tabs on the market that you're in and seeing if it's getting saturated with other shops, and maybe you're not doing as well in search as you used to. So stay on top of your keywords, make sure that they're still working for you. Keep an eye on your pricing as more shops come into a space. There's going to be new pricing breakdowns for things. So just kind of keep an eye on things every now and then so that you know that you're in a good spot with your products.
That's something that we constantly try to remind you about pretty much in every avenue where we're talking to you, is that staying on top of things, especially for those of you who are in highly competitive environments, is so important. Staying on top of your markets, paying attention to how your target markets describe things. If those descriptions happen to change over time, if you're selling light switch plates and then all of a sudden you realize that half of your audience is calling them light switch covers, you need to know that sort of thing. You need to know how your audience is describing things, how they're engaging with those descriptors, like how often they're using those keywords. Absolutely. Stay on top of your markets, especially for those of you who are in those highly competitive environments. And especially, like as Gordon's saying, as we see more and more people come to the platform, it's just going to become more and more important for you to have that maintenance strategy set up and to know your market inside out and backwards.
Absolutely. I mean, remember, Etsy is the premier digital shopping mall for handmade and vintage items. So, yes, as competition increases, you got to keep up on your game. But remember, you are in a premium spot right there, right? People are showing up there because they know there are shops and products they want there, and that's going to be the best place to have a great experience getting that kind of thing. So don't fear it. Know that that's a good problem to have, that you are in the right place. Also, speaking of Black Friday and Cyber Monday and whatnot, Black Friday actually went to Target and was curious what that would look like. Ghost Town.
Oh yeah.
Parking lots were like empty. I mean, there were people in there, but it is busier on a normal Saturday.
Right.
Like hardly anybody was out shopping at the stores physically.
Yeah.
It was weird.
We were hearing
You
that
didn't
too.
see. Yeah, we definitely
we asked
did.
a couple people when we were out, hey, how was Black Friday for you guys, in different stores, and they were like, oh, way less.
Like a regular
busy.
day. Yeah, a lot of people said it was just basically like a regular day. So I think people are really trying to do most stuff from online and at home. So it's interesting to see that shift, because in years prior, I've gone to Walmart just to watch a family show up in matching sweatshirts and, dive into a pile of choppers, and that's just exciting stuff. But this year,
not so much.
It's not a contact sport anymore.
No, didn't need the video camera out for this year.
Yeah, I don't think it would be too much of an exaggeration to say that for 2021, Etsy is going to sort of be the boutique experience. So,
absolutely. And I think it's somewhat of a self-fulfilling prophecy there too. For months, we've heard about the shift to everything online. So as you continue to hear that, everyone's mind is going there. I mean, why would you show up to a Black Friday sale at a physical store if you've been told for months that it's all online? There's
Yeah,
no
right.
reason to.
Yep, absolutely.
I want to take a moment to thank you for tuning in to the Jam by Marmalead. Marmalead helps guide you to keywords that real Etsy shoppers are using, so you can get more sales doing what you love. Check out Marmalead in the link in the description or at marmalead.com.
All right, so the last prediction that we have for you guys, not a horribly exciting one, but still one nonetheless. I think that Etsy is going to introduce infinite scrolling on their desktop and their web version of their website. What does infinite scrolling mean? It means that when you perform a search and you scroll to the bottom of the first page of results, instead of seeing a link to go to the next page of results, it just automatically loads the next listings for you. So this is something that Etsy recently added to their mobile app not that long ago, and they made a point of mentioning it. Sounds like they did it because they think it's more responsive and it's a better experience for shoppers to do that. We know that over half of Etsy shoppers shop on mobile devices, and so it makes sense that I think they would bring that same technology to their main website that you would browse on like a laptop or a tablet or anything like that if you're not using the Etsy mobile app. So what does this mean for you as a seller? Not a huge amount. It means that people might continue on to see listings on what would have been page 2 or page 3, whereas before, you get to the bottom as a shopper of the search results and you see the button to go on to page 2, and it's like, well, I have a choice. I can either click this button or I can just do another search that's more specific for what I'm looking for now. So it could kind of drive more variety in the results that people are seeing, because they're just going to kind of keep scrolling a little bit further than they would before. But as a seller, it's probably not a huge thing that you need to really worry about if it's something that they do introduce. They're already doing it in their mobile app anyway, and they seem to be getting good results from it there.
Do you think there's a possibility that sellers might start to see their impression numbers go up without really seeing a huge amount of... So, impressions are different than actual like visits, so that it's possible. Like for me, if I have an endless scroll, I tend to kind of scroll through quicker because I have an idea of what I'm looking for visually. And if I don't see it, I will scroll longer than I will, hitting to the next page, because by page 3, I'm done making that choice. But if I'm scrolling, I'm not really actively making a choice, which I think is smart on Etsy's part, to get more listings in front of you. But I also think sellers may see a jump in impressions because that listing is rolling across the screen, because folks are scrolling more, but they might not see the engagement from that impression.
It certainly could. And it could even potentially give you impression counts for impressions that you didn't really get. So like right now, if someone clicks page 2, they're probably going to go to the end. They're going to scroll to the end of page 2. That's a natural stopping point. Yeah. But with infinite scroll on, when you get to that point and it loads new listings, I mean, there's a certain point where you're just going to stop scrolling.
Yeah,
and absolutely. If it's not at the end of a page, and Etsy counts you as receiving an impression because you were loaded as part of that page, but the person didn't actually see you, that could be. I mean, there could be some of that going on too. And it could affect the impressions that you see in your ads, Etsy ads stats and things like that, where you're maybe getting impressions that people didn't actually see because they didn't scroll all the way down to see you. There's definitely more of a stopping point with the current solution, where when I do a search, I get to the bottom of the page, like we said, there's a point where you're going to make a decision. You're either going to do another search, throw some filters on there, click a listing, or click next page. And if you're clicking next page, it's because you want to see a whole nother page. So yeah, I definitely think, Lisa, that there could be something going on with people seeing more impressions because of this.
So great. I just think that would be something to keep in mind as you move forward. If this does happen, just keep in mind that your impression numbers may look a little exaggerated, and not to freak out about that.
So there you guys go. There's 4 predictions that we have for things that we might see coming up in 2021. We'll see you guys next time on The Jam.